Hi everybody, hope everybody's doing fine. It's Martin here. What happens in your childhood seems to have a massive impact on your adult life later, especially if you're a Jehovah's Witness who has received childhood indoctrination from an early age. Well, it just leaves quite a heavy footprint, and it doesn't disappear overnight. It takes some time. I've spoken to quite a lot of people that used to be ex-Jehovah's Witnesses on YouTube, messaging them backwards and forwards, and a lot of them say that they're going through a healing process. A healing process you almost associate with a bereavement in the family. It takes time. Some are saying that 5 or 6 years and they're still not right after leaving the Jehovah's Witness religion, which is quite sad really. I would have thought that by now that a lot of people who have left for the right reasons, either they've faded or maybe they've been disfellowshipped, or whatever reason that they've decided to leave the organisation, I would have thought that by now they would have well and truly convinced themselves that that former religion that they used to belong to was completely wrong. But I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that a lot of people have got it out of their system. And it basically it really is to do with the fact that we've all well and truly had it inculcated into us, into our psyche, into our innermost feelings, the fear of Armageddon. I mean, what could be worse to a child in the Jehovah's Witness religion than their mum and dad every week to threaten that child with dying at Armageddon? I mean, Armageddon is not man's war, it's God's war. It's the war to end all wars. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to think that that's what they do within a Jehovah's Witness normal family arrangement. It certainly happened to me. I certainly remember getting to the point where I said I didn't really want to go to the meeting this week. I was too tired, or I was sick, or you make up some excuse for not going, don't you, when you're a child? Maybe you're rebelling a bit or something like that against authority. But what did you get in return for saying that you didn't want to go? You would get one of your parents. In my case, it was my mother. My mother was the matriarch. My dad didn't come into the truth till a bit later on. So my dad was always a bit more laid back and not as starched as my mother was. But basically she would say, if you don't go to the meeting tonight and Armageddon comes, that'll be it for you. You'll be destroyed. And you used to get that all the time. That's week in, week out, without fail. Don't you think that after a while, as a young person and a young person's mind, that is going to leave a heavy footprint? And that's going to be damaging. And it is. You just have to speak to the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses on the YouTube channels. A lot of them are damaged. I'll openly admit it. I'm damaged. I'm damaged because of what that religion's done to me. It's probably stopped me from seeking better positions in life, from, improving on my present circumstances. And it's certainly affected every relationship I've ever had, and even when I was married to a Catholic girl. It was so difficult for me to knuckle down and celebrate the normal festivities that the Catholics celebrate. I found it extremely difficult to join in. It was almost like I was a 24-hour party pooper. It wasn't fair on my wife. I mean, she would want me there as her support. But I couldn't buy anybody presents. I couldn't celebrate Christmas. And this was after I wasn't going to the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'd married a Catholic girl. You'd have thought, for the love of her and wanting to please her, then I would have done everything I could. And if that meant compromising my former beliefs, which I then left behind, you'd think I would have done that. But I couldn't. Why? Because you know why. Because of that massive, massive indoctrination as a child. That heavy, heavy footprint that it leaves on your young mind, in your psyche, for the rest of your life. Now, yes, I haven't been for some time. I do have conversations with Jehovah's Witnesses occasionally. I'm not disfellowshipped. I'm known as a fader. I love that expression. That's definitely an American expression, isn't it? A fader. I don't know what we say over here when we just don't go anymore. I'm not sure what the expression is in the UK, but I'm going to stick with fader. I love it. Would I ever go back? Well, the memorial, I did attend the memorial, the one just gone, and I caught up with a lot of old friends who weren't judgmental, who were just completely loving. But would I go back permanently? Do you know what? I don't know. I can't predict the future. I just know that things in this world seem to be escalating and getting worse, and everything that I was brainwashed with as a child, all that indoctrination about the King of the North and peace and security and all these things that I was told 45 years ago or more. I'm 54 now. I was a young man when I was in Australia at Mona Vale Congregation, and even back then, around the 1975 era, we were preparing for the new system, and there was talks from the platform at that time to say that by 1975 we would be in the new system. Yeah, they jumped ahead, they miscalculated, and we all know what trouble that caused. But they misquoted the governing body. I don't remember specifically a governing body member actually saying that we'd be in the new system, and the closest one I can recall was Freddie France. And I know he gave a talk, and I think somebody recorded it, but I don't remember him specifically saying that we would be in the new system by 1975. I just remember elders in that congregation, not one of them, quite a few of them, half a dozen or so of them, just reinforcing to those that were in attendance at that time that we'd be in that new system by 1975. Anyway, it didn't happen. Yeah, the JWs have got quite a lot wrong, and they've damaged a lot of minds, and I am openly sat before you to admit to you that I am one such mind that has been damaged by this religion. I'm not a bad person. I do a lot of good for people. I do a lot of favours for people. I'm a skilled person. I have a great job. I have no debts. But I can't get into another relationship with anybody at the moment, because it's just like this great weight is hanging around my neck, ready to drown me. What kind of support and boyfriend or husband would I make while I'm going through all this? But I will continue to talk to my friends on YouTube, because a lot of them have helped me, and I do appreciate the help that they've given me. Well, I just want to leave it there, and I'd like to thank all the YouTubers. Neil, I think he's known as the Great Apostate, who is going off to Warwick headquarters to launch a bit of a demonstration, and he's going to video it for us, and that will be quite exciting that he's going to do that. I myself wouldn't get involved with something like that, because I'm not 100% sure, because up to now no one's been able to convince me that the Jehovah's Witnesses are 100% wrong. I still have niggling doubts that maybe, just maybe, they are the closest thing to what is known as a true religion in this world currently. And if someone can provide me with categoric proof that it just can't be them, and I know you're going to cite quite a lot of what's been going on with child abuse and what have you. But I have not experienced any cover-ups myself, and I've not experienced anybody in any congregation that I've ever been associated with do this. It's not to say it didn't happen, it just means I wasn't privy to it at that time. Yeah, of course I believe you. I mean, how can I not believe you? I mean, it's sort of quite damning, isn't it? There's supposed to be a congregation in Manchester, not far from me. Is it the New Mustang congregation, where there's something going on, and I'll be keeping a watchful eye on that. Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned that they've allowed this this massive, huge blemish. Well, it's more than a blemish. It's just disgraceful, isn't it? And they've not nipped things in the bud at the earliest possible point, which is what you would expect, wouldn't you, when it comes to a child? You'd expect that child to be put first and foremost above any adult feelings. That's certainly how I feel. For me, that child would be paramount importance, and no adult would ever take precedence over that child's feelings. That's how I feel. I did go out with a girl that used to look after damaged children that had been abused from these dysfunctional families, and I could see the love she had for children, and she made it quite clear to me that at the earliest possible opportunity you need to protect that child. And there was no evidence within the Jehovah's Witnesses that's what they were doing. They weren't protecting the child at the earliest possible opportunity, and that's probably what's undone them. And it is quite disgraceful. Yeah, I'm just going to say good luck to all the YouTubers out there. Mike and Kim, I listen to your videos, and Mike is extremely passionate. I think he's an ex-elder. He's very passionate about what he's doing, and so is Kim. And if you guys are right, you know, come start of the tribulation, and if all the YouTubers are right, then that's fantastic. That's good for me. I mean, that will settle quite a lot. But I just have lots of niggling doubts that I just can't completely obliterate and eradicate the Jehovah's Witness religion just at this moment as being not the chosen religion that will pass into the new system. I wish I could. I wish I could find that evidence that would prove to me that they just cannot be the mirror reflection of the true religion that Jesus Christ taught while he was on his earthly ministry. Someone has to be right and someone has to be wrong. But the question is, those that are wrong, they'll be in the multitudes, and those that are right will be in the minority, if not singular. Just one singular religion can only be right. Thank you. Just going to leave it there. Just wanted to get that off my chest. And thank you very much. Goodbye.